Hello there, welcome back to IT-Siders. IT-Siders preaching ITIL through knowledge sharing. Today the objective is to explain to you the difference between incident and problem, and also explain to you how those two entities relate with each other. Right? So let's start. What can you see on this picture here at your left? We can see, or you can see, a team of a rescue team trying to save somebody's life, right? And on your right, you can see a picture of two doctors doing a surgery on somebody's knee. I think it's a knee, it should be a knee, right? Right, so there is a difference in there. So first things first, let's name those two pictures. The first picture, I will name it incident, okay? So this first picture here, it's gonna be what we call incident, right? And this other picture, we'll name it problem. Right. I will not give you the ITIL concept, the pure theory ITIL concept. Otherwise, I'm just gonna read the book for you, and that's not the objective here. So let's make it a little bit informal now. For the moment. So incident, yeah, what we can see a team of rescue. What do you think they are doing? They're trying to save somebody's life. Okay, so we know what they are doing, right? They are trying to save somebody's life. Do they care about when the incident happened? Do they care how the incident happened? Do they care who is on the floor there with them? If it's a man, a woman, an animal, who? Do they care about this? No. They care that what happened. It's not even important as well, but it is important on what to do. What to do, as soon as possible to save that person's life. Okay? So they don't care when it happened, they don't care how it happened, they don't care who is in there, who is affected. They care of what to do, what needs to be done, what needs to be fixed as soon as possible to get that person's life back on track. Okay? So this is what an incident focuses on. A problem on the other side, okay? Do they care what to do? Yes. Do they care when? Do they care how? Do they care who is in there? Well, they care when. Yes. Why? Because if the knee, in this case, is a knee in there. If that is, let's say, a year ago, or the accident just happened, the treatment and the material used probably is going to be different, right? So if it's a knee that had an injury a year ago, is different from a knee that just suffered an injury. So the treatment and when it happened will drive the treatment. Okay. How? Is it important to know how? Yes, because how do they know that? They know that, for example, in this case, let's say by an X-ray. So they know, they ask the person, they investigate with the family what happened, they see the X-ray, so they know how it happened. If it was a fracture on a bone, on a tibia, on an antitibia there, so where was it and how was it, so they can do the best expertise in solving that surgery that they have in their hands at the moment. So, and do they care who is that? Of course they care, because if that's a young's leg, a lad's leg, okay, if that's an old person, the treatment is also different. Why? Because of the antibiotics. Maybe the person is allergic to something else, or maybe they need to know who is in there. So they need to do what we call this, investigation. Investigation. So I'm gonna write it again so you can see better, because I had some complaints before. Thank you very much. So investigation. So this is the phase where the doctors, before they do the treatment, they need to do investigation. Right. So after they do the investigation, what do they find? They find the root cause. And then they do what? They apply fix. And here, apply fix take us to change management that it's not in now today, but I'll take you through this later, okay? Because sometimes for them to do a surgery, they need to ask the family. They need approval from the family, and that goes to change management control, or even approval from the patient. Let's say that the person is, look, we can do this, but we cannot do that. Do you approve that? Yeah, we can take your knee out. Can you approve that? Yeah, so that's what we're gonna go for change control. So that's what problem does, okay? And as you can see here on your right, these teams, those two doctors there, I'm gonna make it here. Those two doctors there, they are what we call experts. Okay, they are experts. So in problem, we have experts team because they need to know exactly how to operate the material. They know exactly where the problem is, how it happens. They need to know everything so they can solve the issue. Now, can you imagine if this doctor said, okay, let's resolve it as soon as possible? What do you think it would happen? Well, something would go wrong, wouldn't it? So they, as soon as possible, it's not a word used in problem, but a word used in incident. Okay? So this is the main concepts of incident and problem. So I talked about experts. Are these people experts in here? They are experts in doing what? They're experts in what to do as soon as possible. So they are experts in the as soon as possible, but they're not experts in solving the issue through the whole cycle. Okay? So that's an incident, and that's a problem. Now, there is a question that many of you asked me, or asked within the forum. I'm gonna delete this arrow here, sorry, so I can make clear for you that there is a relationship in here. So this relationship here explain something that some of you may have doubts in there, and I think some of you still have it. It is when an incident creates a problem, or when an incident becomes a problem. So we have two words in that, become or create. You're going to say, okay, an incident, as I said before in other classes, never, ever, ever becomes a problem, okay? An incident creates a problem. How do you remember, how can you remember that, right? How can you remember that? How can you remember that an incident always create a problem and not become a problem? How? Easy. Think about the experts, okay? The people who work in problem, they are experts. And the people who works in incidents are non-experts, okay? Or experts in as soon as possible things. If you put those experts to work in incident and those guys to work in problem, then you could say that an incident would become a problem. But because they have different expertise and they have different roles and they have different responsibilities, you can never say that an incident becomes a problem, because there are different people who works on different things at different granularity, right? So an incident creates a problem. Why? Because this team here need a job. Yeah, if all the incident they create becomes a problem, then they would be experts and they would be without jobs. So an incident creates a problem, so they have a job. So an incident's always gonna create and never gonna become a problem. So this is how I am trying to put in your head, stick in your head, how does this thing work in here. Okay, in another option in there, and another important thing, and I would say option, but it's not really option, is this team. How do you call this team in ITIL? Okay, this team in ITIL there, is called service desk. Okay, the service desk. So service desk is the only function in ITIL. Yeah. Now with ITIL v3, there are teams like application teams, but I'm going to take you through that later. But think about that. Service desk is a function, it's not a process. Incident is a process. Problem is a process. But service desk is never process, it's a function. What means function? Functions mean department, a department in your organization. Okay? So up to here, I hope you have understood and I hope you have enjoyed. I'm going to try to bring this more and more and more so you can understand. It's very common sense. As you can see, I didn't use any ITIL terminology to explain to you how those things work. But you know now what is an incident, what is a problem, how do they differ, yeah, and what's the relationship that we have between incident and problem, okay? The relationship, you can go through the books, but the main relationship is to remember that an incident never become a problem, but an incident always create a problem. And as you know, of course, the name of this person and the identification of this person, yeah, let's say they have an ID 1, 2, 3, okay, goes to these doctors here, so they know who is that and they know what happened. 1, 2, 3. Other relationships, yeah, within incident and problem, yeah, they have the same ID, although these doctors, they have many patients, so they don't use the same ID. So that ID, which is the incident number, is not the same as a problem number. Otherwise, you say that they will become. So they have to create. So these guys here, the experts, they create another ID, called, let's say, 456. Right? So an incident 1, 2, 3 keeps on the record, and they create a problem called 456. So there is this ID here does not exist. Okay? Does not exist. Just remember, an incident creates a problem. They are different, and we have different people working on them. Right, thank you very much, and I hope you have enjoyed. Next time I'm going to talk about problem and change request. Okay, see you next. Bye.